I transmigrated into a scumbag guy who ditches his wife for his mistress, always lingering on his white moonlight, and also a two-timing cheater. At a family gathering, the white moonlight stood behind me, biting her lip tightly. With a pitiful expression, "Just forget it." Sister Lisa probably didn't mean to spill the fruit juice on me. The parents nearby kept sneering. What a low-class woman who can't even make it to the table. The friends around were full of malice. Lisa Ruyan has always pulled these kinds of tricks. Does she really think Kevin Baxter will fall for it now? After saying that, the whole group turned to look at me, signaling for me to say something, but I looked at the girl standing across from me, instinctively greeting her. Honey, do you see that star over there? Your heartfelt wish is to protect her at all costs. When I woke up, my mind was in chaos, remembering only that one sentence. The original host's memories and information about this world flooded in like a tidal wave. I hadn't even had time to steady myself in my situation when I saw the girl standing in front of me. On top of her head was a faint star, her pale, delicate face devoid of any color, looking both disheveled and pitiable. This was a grand party, yet not a single person stood by her side. Everyone was on my side, opposing her, pointing with mocking expressions. The girl beside me tugged at my sleeve, her voice lowering. "Just forget it, Brother Kevin. Sister Lisa probably didn't mean it. I shouldn't have shown up here anyway. Don't think that just because you married into the Baxter family, everything will be smooth sailing." The elegant woman nearby sneered. "The kind of trash that can't even make it to the table. No wonder Kevin can't stand the sight of her." Lisa Ruyan used this trick back then too. A young man with a face full of sarcasm spoke up. "Is she planning to recycle the old script now?" After saying that, the group turned to look at me again, waiting for me to make a statement. I was still in a daze, instinctively blurting out a greeting to the girl. "Honey." The subtle smile of the girl behind froze. The elegant mother. Her expression also iced over. The young man. "Kevin Baxter," I snapped back, retracting my expression, quickly taking off my suit jacket, gently draping it over Lisa Ruyan's shoulders. "Are you cold, honey? The air conditioning here is turned up too high." Lisa Ruyan looked at me in bewilderment, her big round eyes full of surprise. "Brother Kevin." The white moonlight I left behind. Samantha Harper looked at me in utter disbelief, her eyes already rimmed with red. I immediately understood her intention, comforting her. "You showing up here really is bad timing. But it's good that you know your mistake and can correct it. Just don't show up again in the future." The white moonlight stood rooted to the spot, wanting to run but afraid of losing face. She could only cover her face and sob. "Kevin!" My stepmother looked at me with disapproval. "What kind of talk is that? Samantha has grown up with you since childhood. Even if she's no longer part of the Layton family, she's still like family to us." "Mom, that's not a good idea." I put on a troubled look. At my age, taking on another foster mother would be awkward. Pfft! Someone at the party couldn't hold back and burst out laughing. Kevin Baxter. My best buddy Tyler Vance's face was full of anger. "Have you been possessed or something? Have you forgotten what Lisa Ruyan did to Samantha before? Marrying her was already the height of kindness. Now you want to make Samantha, and you're heartbroken because of her. Her marrying me is the real act of ultimate kindness." I finally absorbed all the memories, sincerely saying, "Tyler, stop talking. I admit it. I'm the type who forgets his mother once he has a wife. I'm in love after all." My stepmother looked like she was about to faint. Her eyes rolled back, and she fell backward. Samantha Harper nearby hurriedly caught her. Everyone rushed over in a panic, creating a scene of chaos. No one paid attention to me anymore. I turned to look at Lisa Ruyan beside me, my eyes sparkling. "Honey, shall we head home? The star I need to protect is my wife. Is there anything luckier in the world than that? Ruyan was stunned. Then she whispered softly. She didn't seem close to me, but she didn't take off the jacket from her shoulders, quietly following behind me. All along the way, everyone looked at us with strange eyes, but I didn't care. The status of the young master of the Baxter family was clearly very high. I walked away and no one dared to stop me. Or, perhaps, they didn't believe I would dare to abandon my fainting mother. And Samantha Harper, haven't you eaten your fill tonight? I stepped back 2 paces, walking side by side with her. Do you want to eat out? Or let me cook for you at home? Lisa Ruyan looked surprised. You know how to cook? Kevin Baxter certainly didn't. But I did. I casually lied. Didn't expect that, huh? She glanced at me again, gently nodding. The star is so beautiful. I kept sneaking glances at her, until she couldn't help but ask me, why tonight are you? Kevin Baxter and Lisa Ruyan had only been married a few days. This party was their second meeting after the wedding. She knew Kevin Baxter didn't like her, but she still observed proper etiquette and attended the party. Lisa Ruyan certainly didn't expect that Kevin Baxter would write at this party, publicly show affection with another woman, and mock her. This is an outdated true-fake heiress plot. The real heiress, Lisa Ruyan, is the unwelcome outsider. The fake heiress, Samantha Harper, is the little princess everyone pampers. Kevin Baxter and Samantha Harper were childhood sweethearts. He admired her immensely. Unfortunately, Samantha Harper always flirted ambiguously. She leisurely moved between options, until the day her true identity was exposed. The Layton family still treated her well, but no longer saw her as a marriage option. From the Layton family's perspective, this was a form of protection. They didn't want Samantha Harper to become a daughter-in-law in a wealthy family. After all, Samantha Harper was too ambiguous, always saying she saw brother Kevin as just a brother. Marriage was for the family. Samantha Harper wasn't truly part of the Layton family. Being a daughter-in-law in a wealthy family isn't easy. They'd rather have her marry a man who truly loves and pampers her. But from Samantha Harper's perspective, she was used to being pursued by heirs of various families. The Layton family not allowing her to marry into one was abandoning her, cutting off her path to wealth and glory. The Baxter family's attitude also became unpredictable. My stepmother particularly liked Samantha Harper, the child who grew up under her eyes and was great at flattery. But Father Baxter believed marriage must have value. Samantha Harper was no longer an option for the Baxter family's daughter-in-law. Samantha Harper panicked, feeling she'd lost the Layton family's support. She needed a reliable marriage arrangement. Unfortunately, marriage wasn't up to them. Kevin Baxter always maintained boundaries, insisting on saving the first time for after marriage. She resorted to a despicable trick, going all out to drug Kevin Baxter, hoping to force the rice to cook, so the Layton and Baxter families would have to accept it. Unexpectedly, everything went off track. The person Kevin Baxter grabbed was Lisa Ruyan, who happened to pass by the room on her way to the bathroom. Lisa Ruyan was attending this kind of party for the first time. The Layton family ignored her. She was plied with drinks by ill-intentioned people, drunk to the point of staggering, with no strength to resist. Moreover, that day Lisa Ruyan was also drugged by another young master with malicious intentions. By the time she realized something was wrong, it was too late. Her consciousness sank. Her body no longer obeyed. The door was pushed open, an ambiguous scene. Then screams echoed continuously. The people Samantha Harper called to witness ended up helping someone else tie the knot, though both the Layton and Baxter families weren't thrilled. But since the matter had spread outside, everyone knew the two families needed to collaborate. So they went along and set the engagement. Samantha Harper saw the matter exposed. To preserve everyone's favor, she destroyed all the evidence. In the end, the matter was swept under the rug. But in high society, rumors suddenly spread. Gossip. That of this was Lisa Ruyan's. Just thinking about it, you know whose scheme it was. Kevin Baxter originally had no interest in this marriage. After the wedding, he treated Lisa Ruyan even more coldly. He only felt he'd lost his love. But he had no idea. This matter for Lisa Ruyan was a fatal blow that destroyed her life. Her foster parents deliberately switched her. Naturally, they had no love for her. Her biological parents were indifferent and cold, only seeing her as a pawn to manipulate at will. The engagement wasn't her decision, clearly the victim. Yet she couldn't show even a hint of resentment. She even had to marry the one who hurt her. She was originally smart and studious. Going to university was her greatest dream in life. Unfortunately, when she got into a prestigious university, her foster parents tore up her admission letter, locked her at home, forcing her to drop out and work. It was hard enough to return to her real home, only to be married off by her biological parents, clearly capable of having a life of her own. In the end, imprisoned in a place like the Baxter family. What a melodramatic and disgusting plot. But it's okay, because nothing has happened yet, meaning there's still a chance to change. Why? I pondered slightly, then smiled at her. Of course, because you're my star. And naturally, because you're my wife. Perhaps because she'd never heard such straightforward words. She suddenly froze. Her eyes wavered slightly, as if she didn't know how to respond. I opened the fridge, satisfied, scanning the fresh ingredients. Let me make you some steamed rice. Whatever. She hesitated for 2 seconds, or let me do it. Ruyan, dot. I gently touched her forehead with the back of my hand, softly saying, "Go take a shower first, or you'll catch a cold." Hearing that, she paused slightly. Her expression shifted a bit. That look of both assessing and doubting appeared only for a moment. She quickly lowered her eyes, her voice very calm. "Okay, my cooking skills are top-notch." During the meal, Lisa Ruyan seemed lost in thought, but she still ate quite a lot. "Is it good?" I smiled at her. "You're too thin, you should eat more." Lisa Ruyan nodded. She seemed to have something to say, hesitating for a moment. "Actually, I have something." I was about to stand up, but obediently sat back down to listen. "I want to attend part-time university." Lisa Ruyan lowered her eyes. "Now I'm Mrs. Baxter. My education is only high school. It doesn't look good for the Baxter family's reputation." This excuse sounded a bit forced, but I didn't mind at all. I knew full well it was because she really wanted to study. The college entrance exam was years ago, but every day, she diligently self-studied, hoping that after escaping that family, she could find her own bright path. Unfortunately, life isn't like a dream. She was dragged into the mud once more, unable to see the sunlight. "Of course," I agreed without hesitation, then gently added, "Then you can even take the graduate exam for working professionals." Seeing me agree, Lisa Ruyan lifted her head, a spark of joy clear in her eyes. But mostly it was a sense of relief. "You don't need to worry about enrollment." I couldn't help myself, gently reaching out to pat the top of Lisa Ruyan's head. "Leave everything to me to handle for you." She'd only met me a few times. Her knowledge of me was very limited, so she cautiously made this request to me. If it were the real Kevin Baxter, he'd surely refuse her without a second thought. "Is there anything else you want to do?" I couldn't hold back and said, "Just tell me. Whatever I can do, I'll try my best to help you." Actually, these words, for our current relationship, were a bit over the line, but I really couldn't suppress my emotions, eager for her to know that I would always stand by her side. Lisa Ruyan looked at me, those dark eyes, like a still lake, in a flash, rippled with emotion, but quickly returned to calm. She shook her head. This is enough. Thank you. I knew what her greatest wish was, but now wasn't the time. Lisa Ruyan stayed in the master bedroom, but that was because before I'd never come home to sleep. Today I was home. Naturally, things would be different. When I just got into bed, Lisa Ruyan was clearly a bit tense, but seeing me sleep properly on one side, until my breathing steadied with no other actions, her tense body gradually relaxed. The air conditioning was on in the room, the temperature just right. The night was quiet, cicadas chirping faintly. The girl, exhausted from the whole day, also slowly sank into deep sleep. The moment she fell asleep, I opened my eyes, turned my head to look at her. I reached out, gently prying open her clenched hand, smoothed the wrinkle between her brows, then rolled out of bed, went to the balcony, bowed my head to send messages. Tomorrow there was still a lot to do. Gently closing the balcony door. Through the glass, I drew a small moon on her cheek. Good night, Ruyan. The next morning when Lisa Ruyan woke up, I was already packing luggage. She was stunned. Kevin Baxter. What are you doing? We're running away. I flashed her a bright smile. Leaving the capital city. The little girl's eyes gradually widened. From yesterday until now, this was the first time she showed such clear surprise. It's too chaotic here. I zipped the backpack with a click. You need to review for exams. We have to find somewhere quiet. That was my sincere words. Here there was the Baxter family, the Layton family, those with malicious intention, and those just waiting to watch the show. They were like a pack of hunting dogs, mocking the fragile girl in front of them, waiting for her to gasp her last before pouncing to tear her apart. This was the malice of the whole world toward her, and beside her, there was no one. I had to stand by her side. Only I could stand by her side. Lisa Ruyan was silent for a long time. I sensed something, lifted my head, saw her looking at me against the light, her face sunk in shadow, expression unclear. But quickly, she tilted her head and asked, "Where to?" "Anywhere." I asked, "Do you prefer the south or the north?" Lisa Ruyan's eyelashes trembled slightly. I snapped my fingers. "Then let's go to Southern City." Lisa Ruyan and I, just like that, quietly set foot in Southern City, without anyone knowing. As the heir and holder of power in the Baxter family, hiding my whereabouts was as easy as flipping a hand. I ignored the barrage of calls and messages. I blocked Samantha Harper's number and all the Baxter family. By the way, I also caused a little trouble for the Layton family, to make them stop prying into Lisa Ruyan. The people who came to my house early to catch us but missed must be furious, scouring the entire capital city for me and Ruyan. Too bad. At this moment, we were standing on a small bridge in an ancient town in Southern City, buying green rice cakes. Perhaps because we'd left that vortex in the capital city, Lisa Ruyan's demeanor was much more relaxed. Before, even though her face was always calm. But because of her pale cheeks and overly delicate features, it showed a fragile, lonely air. But now she was standing beside me, when gently asking the price of the green rice cakes. Her eyes sparkled with a smile, a completely different state from when in the capital city I'd rented a local house. This place naturally wasn't as bustling as the capital city. No large shopping streets or busy highways with traffic, only the sound of water trickling and wooden bridges connecting one after another. Raventown in Southern City wasn't very famous, and no one knew me or Lisa Ruyan. Lisa Ruyan studied at home for exams. I worked right beside her, one holding books, the other typing on the keyboard. We didn't say a word, just like that, passing an entire afternoon, until the golden sunlight on the table slowly dyed orange-red, then gradually faded away. The neighbors quickly became friendly with us. Aunt Victoria from the left house often brought over homemade snacks as gifts. Lisa Ruyan knew to reciprocate, inviting Aunt Victoria over for a meal. She knew how to cook, but usually I took the initiative. In the kitchen, one washing veggies, the other chopping. Aunt Victoria stood in the living room beaming and said, "You young couple have such a great relationship." Lisa Ruyan's movements paused for a moment, but when she met my eyes full of smiling intent, she gently lowered her head. We were originally newlyweds. She didn't hold too high hopes for me, but because she didn't understand me well, after realizing I had no ill intent, she was willing to give me her precious trust. Uncle Charles, from the right house, liked inviting me to go fishing. My skills were poor, but I was very patient, holding the rod, chatting with Uncle Charles all afternoon, without showing the slightest impatience. Uncle Charles laughed. He, sharing the fish he caught with me. I didn't refuse. Carried the bucket home and asked Lisa Ruyan, "Ruyan, tonight fish soup or braised fish?" Lisa Ruyan lifted her head to look at me, sunlight shining on her soul. In her dark pupils appeared a dazed look. "Why?" she asked me. "I thought you liked Samantha Harper. Why is that?" I mimicked her tone to ask back. "I treat you like this, and you're still willing to trust me?" Lisa Ruyan was stunned. "You're a victim too." She shook her head. "You were drugged by someone too." "Before, I did like Samantha Harper." I squatted on the ground scaling the fish. "But now you're married to me. People say the young master of the Baxter family is a charming playboy as gentle as jade." Lisa Ruyan said, "It seems a bit different from what I imagined. Am I not gentle as jade?" I made a face like I was collapsing. "Or am I not a charming playboy?" She seemed not to expect me to say that, and couldn't help but curve her lip. "I didn't mean that. I'll protect you." I stood up, staring into her eyes. "Whatever you want to do, I'll help you." "Is it because of responsibility? Or because of feelings?" She didn't ask further. At dusk, we sat on the rocking chair in the yard stargazing, a gentle breeze blowing. I was drowsy, about to sleep, suddenly felt a thin blanket draped over me. Actually, for a long time now, I no longer believe in these words. The girl's cool fingers lightly touched my cheek, brushed gently, then slowly let go. Her warm breath, very close. "But still, thank you. You're the first person to say these words to me, probably also the last." Her voice gradually became light. "If you knew what I wanted to say, if the beginning of the story wasn't so terrible, if we hadn't met in this way, if you weren't Kevin Baxter." We stayed in Southern City, passing 2 months without disturbance. After returning to the capital city, the first thing I did was take Lisa Ruyan to the exam. The news of our return to the capital just spread. My phone nearly exploded. First was the Baxter family. My stepmother screamed into the phone, her voice trembling with anger. "You rebellious child." I leisurely replied, "Mom, calm down. Take it slow, or you'll hurt yourself." She yelled, "Where have you been these 2 months?" "I was on my honeymoon." My stepmother hadn't finished her sentence when my father snatched the phone. He didn't react too harshly, because after all, I hadn't neglected work, even helping the company close several big projects. He just hinted at me. "I hear lately you've been preoccupied with Lisa Ruyan's matter. Husband-wife feelings are important, but she's just a woman. Don't ruin the big picture because of her." I brushed it off. "Yes, I know." After hanging up, the plastic friends also sniffed it out and came looking. Some pretended to care and asked, "Have you really fallen for Lisa Ruyan?" Others were die-hard fans of Samantha Harper, reproaching me for ignoring Samantha Harper like that. Tyler Vance was even more fired up. How could you leave Nina here for 2 whole months? Kevin Baxter, are you even human? What's so great about that Lisa Ruyan? Did she cast a spell on you? I retorted. If I'm not with my wife, am I supposed to tangle with some outside girls? Tyler Vance roared, Make it clear! Who is the outside girl? I replied, Anyone who wants to interfere. In my marriage is that type. Tyler Vance was choked. Nina hasn't been doing well these 2 months, crying her heart out. Then, what does that have to do with me? Tyler Vance. Kevin Baxter, are you really cutting ties with Nina? I already said it has nothing to do with me. Tyler Vance sneered. Then don't blame me for not honoring our brotherhood. If you won't take care of Nina, I will. I politely responded, wishing you two 100 years of happiness. Then hung up. Even Samantha Harper once called me. Before, it was always Kevin Baxter coaxing her. This was the first time. For such a long period, Kevin Baxter hadn't initiated contact. She went from being confident of victory to anxious and fearful. By the time she called me, her voice was choked like she was about to cry. Brother Kevin. I pretended not to recognize her voice. Who's this? The sniffling on the other end paused noticeably. It's Nina's. I indifferently. Oh, didn't I block your number? Samantha Harper was stunned for a while, then whispered, Are you still mad at me? Originally, I didn't want to waste words on her, but hearing this, I felt a bit interested. You tell me, mad about what? Mad that I didn't express my feelings sooner. Samantha Harper's voice sounded full of grievance. I really want to be with you, brother Kevin. But I didn't have the courage. Now I'm no longer part of the Layton family. So that's why you drugged me. I interrupted her and spread rumors outside that it was Lisa Ruyan's doing. The other end immediately fell into a terrifying silence. Brother Kevin, who told you that? Samantha Harper still tried to play innocent, but her tone revealed unmistakable fear, her voice tense. Why do you believe outsiders? How could I do something like that? Do you think I'm an idiot who knows nothing? I sneered. There are things you dare to do. Then you have to bear the corresponding price yourself. It's just that I won't bother collecting this price from you. Someone else will do it for me. The Baxter family's family ties were only that much. The love between Kevin Baxter and Samantha Harper was a scam. The friendship between Tyler Vance and Kevin Baxter was even more fake. Boring. Feeling uninterested, I blocked them all. Then went to pick up Lisa Ruyan. She was very busy. Every day there were many things to do. Sometimes we ate meals together. Sometimes not. She never interfered with my whereabouts, nor actively inquired, but I always conscientiously went to pick her up, every night leaving a lamp on at home. The Hughes family lately seemed to be in trouble, so they had no time to bother Lisa Ruyan anymore. The Layton family's business also suddenly declined. When they were in dire straits, they called me, intending to ask for my help. On the surface, I said okay, but turned around and helped Lisa Ruyan erase the traces. She hadn't had time to clean up. It was all done by Lisa Ruyan. I knew better than anyone. A young girl only 22 years old, with such great ability, naturally because she secretly borrowed the Baxter family's influence. I didn't interfere with what she did, at most just helping her avoid some trouble. The Layton family didn't know they were wasting heaven's gift. They didn't understand that in this world there's the concept of genius. They didn't remember that Lisa Ruyan only needed to meet once to accurately recognize everyone. They didn't remember the reason Lisa Ruyan was invited to that dinner party was because she helped her cousin complete a project. They didn't remember she once joined the Layton family's company, but in the end was forced to marry early. The Hughes family intentionally switched the child. They didn't care at all. Lisa Ruyan naturally didn't mention it again, but this girl had been exceptionally smart since childhood. Just one glance and she never forgets. Her writing and words are otherworldly, even early on recognizing the family's suppression and deliberately hiding her brilliance. She still excelled and shone. From childhood to adulthood, she always ranked first. In high school, she was a bit quieter, but still got into a famous university. 2 years forced by the family to work. She never stopped studying for a single day. Among the friends she knew, there were plenty with both vision and ability. But when fighting alone, Lisa Royan, facing the Layton family and Baxter family, such giants, in the end was still too disadvantaged. That's why my star was dimmed, looking like it was about to fade away. I began step by step to consolidate the Baxter family's power, gradually gathering shares into my hands. This, no one knew. Not even Kevin Baxter's father. And even if he noticed, he probably wouldn't care much. In his eyes, the family business was most important. The heir being me, no longer being a lapdog for Samantha Harper, made him very satisfied. At the company's regular meeting, hearing the report about a company called Dawnlight, I calmly said, "I know." After the meeting ended, the manager followed me into the office. This company doesn't know where they got the technology from. The domestic AI sector is currently too underdeveloped. The manager said, "Our market share is also being squeezed." I tapped the small robot in my palm. Couldn't help but smile. So cute. This home service robot model called Home Manager, just launched, had caused a huge sensation. Even the Baxter family heard rumors. My father came looking, emphasizing the importance of securing distribution rights for Home Manager. I brushed it off as usual, in a good mood driving home. I'd asked Lisa Royan if she was coming home for dinner. She said she had a social event outside. I asked if I could pick her up. She didn't reply to the message. But an hour later, I received a call from Lisa Royan's number. The other end was very noisy. A woman's voice sounded, "I'm a friend of Royan." I frowned. Didn't deny it. "She's drunk." The woman paused, seeming quite headache. "I was going to take her home, but she insisted on calling you. Where are you all?" I started putting on my coat. "Let me pick her up." The woman read an address. The other end suddenly went silent. Right after, I heard a slightly rapid breath. From the voice, it seemed she was completely drunk. Kevin Baxter Dort. Since that incident of being framed, Lisa Royan started never touching a drop of alcohol again. But today, probably because she was too happy, I inserted the car key. "Wait a bit. I'm coming right now." "Kevin Baxter." She murmured my name softly, then suddenly burst into laughter, her voice like a whisper, as if sharing some secret. "Royan, what's wrong?" I couldn't help but lower my voice too. "Are you uncomfortable? When will I come pick you up?" She said. This is the first time someone has come to pick her up. I suddenly went silent. My heart felt like it was pierced sharply by something pointed. The strange sensation made me unconsciously grip the steering wheel tightly. Even my fingertips felt a bit numb. "I'm coming to pick you up now." It seems, since meeting her, I've been constantly making promises. In the future, I'll always come pick you up. "Really?" She seemed to have gone to a quieter place. I could hear a faint echo. "Are you lying to me?" "I'll never, ever lie to you," I said. "I swear." "Okay." Her voice was very soft. "I believe you." I drove really fast. Soon arriving at the restaurant, Lisa Royan was being supported standing at the door, her eyes already misty. As soon as she saw me, her eyes suddenly lit up. Around her was a group of people, led by a woman with short, edgy hair, her expression a bit odd. When she saw me, she clearly froze for a moment. Mr. Baxter. The group behind also had various expressions. I didn't know any of them, but still politely nodded and took Lisa Royan. It seemed she was so drunk her mind wasn't clear anymore. But with poor tolerance yet good drunk manners, she just silently sat in the passenger seat. When I leaned over to buckle her seatbelt, she had no reaction, just lifted her eyes staring at me. That gaze was direct, hazy like moonlight through the clouds. Throughout the drive, she kept tilting her head looking at me, stared at until my ears turned red. But I couldn't bear to tell her to stop, just had to look straight ahead driving, pretending I didn't know she was looking at me. When getting out of the car, she was already sleepy with eyes half closed, couldn't even stand steady anymore. I carried her up, placed her on the bed, just about to help her take off her shoes. She suddenly sat up. I want to take a bath. Lisa Ruyan had a severe cleanliness obsession, couldn't sleep without bathing. I had no choice but to fill the bathtub with water, then stand guard outside the bathroom door, calling her every 2 minutes. Afraid she'd fall asleep in the tub, she staggered out of the bathroom to brush her teeth, sleepwear loosely draped on her, buttons not properly fastened. I glanced and my face flushed red, hurriedly covered my eyes with my hand. Ruyan, put your clothes on properly. Your face is so red. She slowly approached me, reached out to touch my forehead. On that delicate face was a hazy, not very sober look. Do you have a fever? My body was about to burst into flames, because I wasn't comfortable leaving her alone in the bathroom, yet couldn't look at her. I had to close my eyes and help her button up. I'm fine. She quietly stood still, letting me help, but when I tried to pull my hand back, she gripped it tightly. I froze in place, not daring to move. Her fingers were small and soft, and just after bathing, her fingertips still warm, gently pressing into my palm. Kevin Baxter. Yeah? I softly replied in confusion. What's up? Are you helping me? Her fingers nimbly interlaced with mine. 10 fingers, tightly locked, like playing a game. I know you're helping me. Her eyes were a bit dreamy, covered in a thin layer of mist. Only you would help me. We stood facing each other. The little girl slightly lifted her head, her long black silky hair still damp, cascading over her fair, slender shoulders, both beautiful and pure. I didn't dare look straight at her. I haven't helped you much anyway. Do you know what I'm doing? She stepped closer, like a child determined to get an answer, both stubborn and naive. Kevin Baxter, do you know what I'm doing? I know. My mind was spinning. Flustered, I stepped back, but then she pressed me against the door. Ruyan, it's time for bed. Her other hand placed on my shoulder, on tiptoes, soft lips close to my ear. Why are you so good to me? I felt I'd never been in such an embarrassing situation. Didn't dare push away for fear she'd fall. Hands and feet awkward, not knowing where to put them. Eyes wherever they looked felt like committing a crime. Had to squeeze them shut. Because you're Lisa Ruyan. Her voice suddenly stopped. I worriedly opened my eyes, saw her staring at my face, her eyes seeming to hold something, radiant enough to burn all emotions. The emotions originally suppressed under those still lake-like eyes, at this moment, suddenly boiled, sparkling, like shattered crystal fragments skimming the lake's surface. Those deep eyes that rarely wavered, now filled only with my reflection. A moment later, she took the initiative to kiss me. My mind went completely blank. When I reacted, I grasped her wrist, gently pushed away. Throat moving, I meant to say something, but my throat was dry like it was about to ignite. She leaned on my shoulder as if using all her strength. I heard her voice, both dazed and aggrieved, pitifully asking me, why? Why? I didn't know what she was asking, could only awkwardly support her shoulders, feeling my palms gradually heating up. Ruyan. I racked my brain because I didn't want her disappointed. You're drunk. Let's go to sleep. Do you like me? She refused to let go. Normally always calm and composed, now like some strange switch was flipped, arms wrapping around my waist, softly whispering in my ear. Kevin Baxter, is it because you like me that you're good to me? I like you, My mind exploded, silently saying, I like you immensely. Immensely. Extremely like. Every day I like you more than the day before. Why? Why though? I don't know either. I honestly replied, because you're the star. A star, she murmured, but there are so many stars. I looked at her. The star I approached initially only because it needed protection. But to me, you're the star of this whole world. I bent down looking at her, ears burning red, and also the moon just for me alone. I like you, because you're Lisa Ruyan. You're my one-of-a-kind moon. When Lisa Ruyan woke up, I was already in the kitchen making breakfast. She quietly stood behind me. Kevin Baxter. I turned back to see her face slightly pale. Between her brows, a hard-to-describe embarrassment. Yeah? I pretended like nothing happened. Today I'll make sandwiches. Last night Her voice was hoarse. I was drunk. I know. I continued. Next time if you want to drink, tell me in advance. I'll come pick you up. It seems I said a lot of strange things. She gently rubbed her temple, like probing, or just casually asking, do you remember how to respond to this? I avoided her eyes. Actually, I said a lot of weird things too. She paused. Then Lisa Ruyan lowered her eyes. You know what I'm doing, right? I know. I hurriedly explained. I didn't intentionally investigate you. It's just that my subordinates discovered it. Kevin Baxter. She interrupted me. You know what I'm doing. Yet you still help me. The obstacles accidentally swept away. The approval processes that should have been stuck. Even the confidential information never leaked before. She was such a smart girl. Of course, she'd notice. The so-called everything going smoothly was never as simple as the partners thought. I looked into her eyes. Even if I didn't help, you'd succeed anyway. This was the truth. She didn't like talking, seemed very weak, quiet, and enduring. Even facing such terrible things, she didn't collapse. When resistance was futile, she temporarily accepted reality. When her admission letter was torn up, it was like that. Discovering her switched identity was like that. Being forced by the original male lead was like that. And marrying me was the same. I knew well. Her temporary compromise wasn't real. It was the feigned weakness move of the most skilled hunter, possessing an seemingly harmless appearance. But in those gentle eyes hid coldness. She waited for the day to tear apart all who trampled her. In the later plot, she was suppressed, humiliated. The so-called family, none loved her. Kevin Baxter would imprison her in the Baxter family, not allowing work or going out. The close partners would easily be defeated, then one by one leave her. After all, powerless. How could the Baxter and Layton families stand by, watching their market share be taken? In a depressed moment after marriage, Kevin Baxter would mistake her for Samantha Harper, then treat her roughly. After that, Lisa Ruyan got pregnant. Controlled in the palm of the Baxter and Layton families. Lisa Ruyan was like isolated, losing all senses. Eyes couldn't see, ears couldn't hear, even the right to abort the child she didn't have. She was caged like a bird, in extreme pain giving birth to this child. The child was taken by Father Layton and stepmother to raise, while Lisa Ruyan was discarded without hesitation by Kevin Baxter, who had fully taken control of the Baxter family. Such a life, transparent to the end. The outcome could only be Samantha Harper happy for life, while Lisa Ruyan lonely and alone. But ironically, the ending of this true fake heiress novel collapsed into ruins. Each novel is a world. The protagonists of this one should have been Kevin Baxter and Samantha Harper. However, in this chaotic, ignorant world, a star was born. Those carrying brilliant souls, they are born according to fate, but not bound by any rules. They become stars not because favored by destiny, but because they are destined to grow to dominate even fate. Even if a star about to fade, Lisa Ruyan was still a star, so she couldn't give up, and never submitted. If she truly let go, she wouldn't be a star anymore. Lisa Ruyan, after a period of disappearance, when reappearing was a new noble in the tech world. High status, ruthless methods. She leisurely found loopholes in the companies of the Baxter and Layton families, first setting traps, forcing both companies, step by step, to bankruptcy, then using tax evasion charges to accuse all the power holders of both families. She secretly guided the Hughes family. The Hughes couple got into addiction, forcing them to use the child switch incident years ago to blackmail Samantha Harper. From there, draining more and more money from Kevin Baxter, finally causing family ruin, turning against each other. Those who drugged her back then. Samantha Harper, who drugged Kevin Baxter. The Hughes couple maliciously switching the child, all dragged out with solid evidence, had to face prison, including Kevin Baxter Doherty. She arrogantly looked at the man trembling in fear, contemptuously said, "You lost." In a blink, 10 years passed. But this world ultimately didn't follow the old track, because Lisa Ruyan, buried in black mud, had bloodily crawled out from the abyss and stabbed straight into the enemy's hearts without hesitation. But she had long lost human emotions. Looking at the child she bore, after that rape, sent to the orphanage, before leaving it, looked at her with eyes full of hatred, emotionless. Suddenly found everything so bland. This boring world, even standing at the peak, was pointless. Bored, Lisa Ruyan went to watch those who oppressed her be executed. Those demons, haunting her for 10 years, now, scared to the point of wetting their pants. She lowered her eyes, suddenly found those fears weren't anything terrifying, truly too dull. The world collapsed with the star falling into darkness, completely destroyed. That was the end of the story. A star cannot be killed, unless it wants to self-extinguish. She closed her eyes, chose to leave this world without farewell. But the star extinguishing means the world ends. So I was sent by the gods from a distant space, because they discovered me and her, even separated by millions of light years, still have the same vibration frequency. The original Kevin Baxter, the one who made the star extinguish, was taken elsewhere for reformation, to redo life, while I took over his position, because only the male lead's identity can change fate. That star is about to fade. You must protect her. That is my mission, my task. Even if I want to confront the Baxter family. Lisa Ruyan rarely showed such sharpness in front of me. Cold face, calm voice. You think I'll succeed too? What is the Baxter family anyway? The company later will rot to the core. Perverted family, specializing in oppressing the good. A towering building collapses in a moment. Perhaps the previous Kevin Baxter would care, but I don't. Do you know my answer? I looked at her, said obviously, "You will definitely succeed." Sometimes I wonder. She's silent for a few seconds. What exactly do you want from me? I once thought we were mutually beneficial. I borrowed the Baxter family's name to do what I want. I've achieved a lot thanks to you, Lisa Ruyan said. But I don't understand. What do you get from me? Using my name to blackmail Samantha Harper? Or to curry favor with the Layton family? Even physical needs? She said, I've considered many possibilities. But you seem to need nothing. I like you. I interrupted her. Lisa Ruyan froze in place. Clear eyes wide open. Beautiful face. Suddenly blank. I a bit flustered, asked back. Can't it be because I simply like you? She went silent. She was stunned. I really like you. I looked at her seriously, even though my cheeks were burning hot. But the words flowed more smoothly, each sentence firm. Moreover, haven't you realized that I'm in love? Lisa Ruyan? Her fair earlobes gradually turned red, standing out against the black cloud-like hair. She moved her lips, but couldn't speak. Gently lowered her eyes, long lashes trembling like fluttering butterflies. So beautiful, I dreamily thought. When did it all start? When I first came here, I knew nothing. Only knew protecting the star was my mission. But from the moment I fell for her, I understood everything. Two stars millions of light years apart. What does resonance occurring mean? I once asked the gods in the universe. The two brothers gently told me, you will shine together. I saw in countless dark worlds, two stars always attracting each other, illuminating each other. I also saw two other stars they were observing recently, seemingly named Autumn Jade, Tang, and Joey Jai Yi. I don't remember my origins clearly, but roughly from some barren planet. I only remember one day, when breath was barely hanging on, I suddenly saw another star at the universe's end. I used all my remaining strength to approach it. She was the only light I could reach. Why do you like me? Lisa Ruyan asked the exact same question as last night. I don't see anything likable about myself. Where are there so many reasons? I gave her a vivid example to understand. You know, the first time I saw you, I felt like, whoosh, the moon fell right into my arms. She was resilient and strong, pure and radiant. Even when receiving no love from this world, after so many disappointments, she still chose self-destruction. To her, this world was terrible, but in others' eyes, it still had its beauty. She thought like that. One day, I suddenly understood her thoughts. From that day on, I realized favoring this moon was my life's destiny. The Dawnlight Group developed faster and faster, especially their new research direction, clearly aiming straight at the Layton family. The Layton family absolutely couldn't sit still anymore. Mr. Layton came to see me, first, pretending to ask warmly, how's the husband-wife relationship lately? I replied perfunctorily a few sentences. Mr. Layton, with a face full of concerns, still not resigned, and asked further, do you know where Ruyan is lately? I paused a bit, then politely saw him out. Rumors about Dawnlight became increasingly unbelievable. As one of the founders, Lisa Ruyan occasionally appearing was necessary, though no one knew she was actually the largest shareholder of Dawnlight. But rumors that the Layton family's daughter was involved with Dawnlight still started buzzing discreetly, especially the companies authorized to collaborate with Dawnlight. Each time the Baxter family's shadow was seen, Mr. Layton also got wind of this. Between a declining Layton family and a Dawnlight rising like a kite in the wind, he chose Dawnlight. He pretended not to know Ruyan was targeting the Layton family. Even came to remind me, Kevin, my boy, if Dawnlight has Ruyan's share, then you, as her husband, should also help manage things there. After all, we're all family. His intent was for me to use the name of Ryan's husband to swallow Dawnlight whole. On one hand, I agreed, but on the other, turned around, introducing all resources of the Baxter family to Dawnlight. The day Lisa Ruyan returned to the Layton family, no one dared block her. The Layton family's assets were finally completely acquired by her Dawnlight. This became a secret everyone knew. Samantha Harper looked much more haggard, pale face looking at her. Mrs. Layton seemed still resentful, but Mr. Layton took the initiative to bow first. He pulled her back, said in an extremely humble voice, "Little Luna, from now on the family company is all yours." The man who once forced Lisa Ruyan to marry me, at this moment his face had both unwillingness and fear. He both regretted and raged, disappointed, questioning Samantha Harper. Clearly from childhood I poured my heart into training you. Yet besides seducing men you learned nothing. In what way are you even a fraction as good as little Luna? The fake daughter they pinned hopes on for so long turned out to secretly funnel assets to the Hughes family. The real daughter they discarded like trash. In just 3 years, trampled them underfoot. The Layton family finally realized the truth. Lisa Ryan, once abandoned and ignored by them, was a genius who could continuously break domestic technology barriers. She was originally the hope to easily bring the Layton family to the peak. Yet they themselves strangled that hope. Lisa Ryan watched the drama before her, saying not a word. Still that delicate, weak face. Still that cold, taciturn demeanor. But her eyes now carried the oppressive aura of a superior. The stormy capital city just went through a major blood change. The only one able to retreat safely was the Baxter family, fully under my control. I wasn't very interested in building a career, even suggested to my father, why not just give the Baxter family to Lisa Ryan outright? My father angrily cursed me as a rebellious son. Stepmother rolled her eyes, about to faint. I slipped away before she actually fainted. That evening when picking up Lisa Ryan, I asked her, I don't want to try anymore. Can you support me? Her eyes sparkling looked at me, gently laughed. Rarely seeing her show such lively girlish vibe. Then, she replied, sure. The Hughes family scandal exposed. The malicious child switch case caused a huge shock in the circle. Samantha Harper was kicked out of the Layton family. Lisa Ryan, after gathering enough evidence, without hesitation accused them. Before they went to prison, Samantha Harper came begging Lisa Ryan with a pitiful look. Ryan, please. After all, they raised you this big. Tyler Vance stood beside with a complex face, his eyes looking at Samantha Harper, no longer full of affection like before. He liked Samantha Harper. Part of the reason, naturally, because the Layton family backed her. Now the Layton family collapsed. Samantha Harper's reputation also ruined. Tyler Vance, once wanting to be the hero saving the beauty, continuously warned by his family, no longer had the determination to stand up for her like initially. Lisa Ryan just calmly looked at her, then said the name of a special drug. Samantha Harper stopped crying immediately. Expression changed drastically. As far as I know, this drug is on the banned list. I've checked all consumption channels in the capital city. Lisa Ryan added another name. The largest supplier also had a line in Myanmar. You reap what you sow, she said. These years, the Hughes family rose fast. Miss Hughes claimed embezzling public funds. But one account, no matter how compared, doesn't match. You should know well, once involved in that stuff. It's not something I can change by saying anything. Samantha Harper's face, bloodless, turned staggering away. Do you think I'm too heartless? Lisa Ryan asked. Actually, initially I plan not to pursue those matters anymore. The one hurt is you, Ryan. Whether to pursue to the end is your right. She softly asked, are you Kevin Baxter? She was so smart originally. Being discovered was natural. Moreover, I never intended to hide. I thought for a bit, then seriously asked back, will you turn me in to the authorities? She was amused by me. What if I want to hand you over to the authorities? Then remember to hand me as the real deal. I looked at her, casually joked. Who knows? If they research something, they might give you a medal. She stared at me stunned, those dark, clear eyes gradually filled with sparkling emotions. Then she gently smiled. Soft fingertip lightly pinched my palm. Lisa Ryan didn't like drinking, but for work, sometimes unavoidable. Each time I went to pick her up, her colleagues, from initial surprise, to finding it strange, and now, completely familiar. Once again, I put my arm around her shoulder, bringing her home. Skilled standing at the bathroom door, squeezing toothpaste for her waist, suddenly heated up. I looked in the mirror, only saw Lisa Ruyan with cheeks flushed from alcohol, clinging to my back like a koala, two fair arms around my waist. She coquettishly tiptoed close to my ear, calling, "Kevin Baxter." She deliberately lowered her tone, sounding both soft and light. My ears turned red again. I pursed my lips, pulling her down. Patiently said, "Luna, brush your teeth." Her eyes hazy with mist. "When did you come from?" "The day I arrived at the Baxter family." I said, "Stop smiling. Brush quickly." "So what's your name?" She brushed while looking at me. Nose a tip with some foam. Looking dazed, cute, unlike usual. "Are you the first to know this secret?" "And the only one." I helped wipe her nose tip. "I don't know my own name either. Probably just call me Kevin Baxter." When carrying the completely drunk Lisa Ruyan to bed, she was half awake, half asleep, but still persistently asked me, "Will you leave?" I was about to say no, when I heard her murmur, "If the real Kevin Baxter returns, I will." "What will you do?" I was a bit curious. While covering her with the blanket, asked, "I'll kill him." She rubbed her head into the pillow, dreamy tone, but that moment suddenly became extremely firm. "Freeze his body to wait for you back. I won't leave. So don't fade away anymore, okay? I'll stay in your world." I turned off the light, gently kissed her hair through the air. "So, let's make this world better together, okay? This place once full of black mud, gloomy and dark. But if it's you, surely can light up this whole world, just like how you lit up my world." The day Lisa Ruyan, as chairman of Dawn Light, attended the award ceremony for Top 10 Young Entrepreneurs, outstanding nationwide. I stood at the door waiting for her. On TV, she looked so spirited, in a sharp suit, shining brilliantly. Sunlight danced on her hair, in her dark eyes, on her long lashes, and at the corners of her smiling mouth. She stood under the sunlight, as if favored by that glow. I watched her step by step walk toward me, lowered my eyes, gently said, "Ruyan, let's divorce. I know this is your wish, the thorn in your heart for so long. Also the decision you've always hesitated to make. Why? Because I will always unconditionally stand by you. Wait until you no longer need to worry. Wait until you want to settle scores with those who forced you and me to marry. Wait until you realize no matter how well I treat you, it can't erase the dirty start history of this marriage. Wait until you're strong enough. Then, the marriage, with me, is just like the last stain, trampled under your foot." Samantha Harper, for involvement in trading banned drugs, had to go to prison. The man years ago who drugged Lisa Ruyan was also caught with full evidence. The marriage between Dawn Light chairman Lisa Ruyan and Origin Group chairman Kevin Baxter officially broke. Announced end. I resigned as chairman of Origin Group, handed the company I'd cleaned up to a successor I trusted. Naturally, this successor was a die-hard fan of Dawn Light, because Dawn Light, as the largest AI company in the market, not only unconditionally transferred many invention copyrights to the nation, but also popularized many cheap products, improving life. Extremely good reputation among the people. From now on, the identity of Baxter family young master, Kevin Baxter, will completely separate from Lisa Ruyan. The melodramatic, complex relationships of people like Samantha Harper, Tyler Vance, Kevin Baxter, not allowed to taint Lisa Ruyan even a bit. Her life destined to be brilliant. Her marrying Kevin Baxter, from the start, was a mistake. Raventown. I've returned to Raventown. That house I'd bought outright since first leaving. Aunt Victoria and Uncle Charles hadn't left. Seeing me back were very happy. Only asked why no Lisa Ruyan. Her night flight should land soon. I winked. She's too busy. I finally snatched the chance for a honeymoon. The identity of Baxter family young master. The story of Kevin Baxter and Lisa Ruyan ended, but mine and Lisa Ruyan's hasn't. Even if Lisa Ruyan doesn't plan to marry again. But she herself said, I can live off her. To the end of life. After divorce. Can I pursue you again? I put on a pitiful look, asking her. Actually, I like you. She interrupted me. This was the first time. She personally admitted this. Said that sentence to me, herself. Kevin Baxter, she repeated again. I like you. My whole face flushed red. After a long time managed a complete sentence. I like you too. She smiled. A extremely pure smile. Sunlight like melting in those beautiful eyes. Turning the always still lake into thick sweet honey. I extremely like you. Immensely, immensely like. Every day like you more than the previous day. Why did you come to this world? To have one person in this world. Always unconditionally stand by you, of course. You're the star of this whole world. But the moon just for me alone. When picking up Lisa Ruyan at the airport, I asked her, now can I openly call? She blinked. Call what? Hey, honey! I called. Honey, honey, honey. First time calling like that. Actually, still felt guilty inside. She smiled, eyes curving. That was the first sentence you said to me. From that moment, the sun rose in my world, radiant and brilliantly so.